Hello and welcome back to the Wizards Arena, my fellow Planeswalkers. Today we're doing deck 4, black and green. And first off, we have a Shade Warlock, Author of Shadows. 4 and a black for 3/3. Okay, we're paying a little extra. What do we got going on? When Author enters the battlefield, exile all cards from all opponents' graveyard. A super Pujuga Bog effect, okay? Choose a non-land card exiled this way. You may cast that card for as long as it remains exiled, and you may spend mana as if it was anything. I really like the graveyard nuking of everybody else's graveyard. It's pretty neat. I like this card in different things like Reanimator Shells. You can just bring it back, get rid of their stuff, grab one of their things. And in case you want to cast that Live in Death or something like that, they don't get anything back. So that is what makes this card really good, is it nukes everybody's graveyards. But overall, it's very limited. The decks it goes in, it's really good. It just doesn't go in that many decks. I mean, if everybody in your area is running lots of graveyard shenanigans, then he's going to be in every one of your decks to calm them the heck down. But overall, I think he's just a 5. But in the decks that want to play with the graveyard, or stop it, he's definitely worth more, like 2 more, like a 7. Next up, what do we got? We got Bold Plagiarist. 3 and a black, Vampire Rogue, 2/2 Flash. Okay. Whenever an opponent puts 1 or more counters on a creature they control, you get the same thing on her. This is even more narrow. It would be better if you got counters too. Like, there's so many decks right now that are going through and adding counters to the deck. Like, if I was doing it and I could put her in my deck to get her the counters too, then it should be a lot better. But because she's a plagiarist and you gotta copy what other people are doing, she's really limited. Like, I think she's a 3. When she happens to be good, she's good, but the payoff is so rare. Like, maybe she's a 2. Like, it's just so bad. Yeah, she was a 2. Next up, let's get to good cards. Combat Calligrapher. Okay, 3 and a white for a 3/3 bird cleric. Two kind of relevant keywords. Birds are kind of good and clerics are nice. Flying. Inklings can't attack you or planeswalkers you control. Okay, why does that matter? Whenever a player attacks one of your opponents, they get a 2/1 white and black Inkling token. That's tapped. That's flying, that's attacking that opponent. Okay, so this encourages your opponents to go beat up on each other, and the token creatures they get from doing so can't hurt you. So this is just all kinds of political shenanigans, what a deck should be doing. This I really like, because he's a 3/3 fly for 4, and he gives incentives for your opponents to go beat up on each other. And with black and white having these things to drain your opponents as creatures die and stuff like that, like Blood Artists and such, he's just there to pick off your opponents from the back line. So I love it. I'm going to have to give this guy an 8. He's really good. Next up, we have the cut-in Rhetoric. 2 and a black enchantment. Whenever an opponent attacks you and or a planeswalker you control, exile the top card of that player's library. You may play that card for as long as it remains exiled. Okay, so this I feel is better than what we saw the first card do with exiling. Is you keep getting the triggered effect of exiling a card, but even if this enchantment dies, you still get to do it. So it's just really good. They know that coming in to attack you could potentially cost them a key card out of their deck or something like that. Or, you know, so it's not guaranteed to help you, but it's guaranteed to, like, potentially give you a payoff. And, you know, worst case scenario, you get a land ramp from them or something like that, which is kind of ingenious for black. So it's kind of a quasi-black ramp spell. So, because, I mean, if 3 guys attack you, yeah, that's a lot of people coming at you, but most likely one of those people gave you a land. So it's not the greatest land ramp for you, but you have the chances of getting all kinds of other things too. But then again, we're into the randomness thing of it all. So because it's so random, it's a 6, but I really like this. Next up, Fane the Broker. 2 and a black, legendary Warlock. Human. 3/3. Okay. So he's 3 for 3/3. He does 4 things. Tap, sack a creature, put 2+1/+1 counters on the thing. Tap, remove a counter from a creature you control, make a treasure token. Tap, sack an artifact, create a 2/1 white and black inkling creature token with flying. 3 and a black, untap them, do it again. With Cabal Coffers, or other things like that, where you can have a bunch of mana, or you can just even say Seaborn Muse because she's the answer for everything. You know, he's really good. I think he's really good anyhow because he's got just 4 abilities, 3 of which do different stuff. As long as you have a creature, a counter, and an artifact, and he makes all of them, so he just feeds himself. So potentially in 2 turns you can give him what you need, or you can give yourself what you need. It's like tap and I make a dude. By sacking an artifact, and I got the artifact by removing a counter that he put on. So, you know, there's just lots of options here. I really like him. And if you're playing a deck that has like Abzan counters put on different things, or treasure deck, or an artifact deck, or a token deck, or, you know, he goes in any of those decks because he just fuels the engine, or exploits the engine. So this, I don't think he'll be good as a commander, but he might be, because if you have enough black mana, he just can do all of this all the time. So I think he'll be simply a 7. He's better than average, but he's not broken as hell. Next up, Felina's Fang of Silver Quill. 2 a white and a black, flying mentor. Okay. She's a vampire wizard 3/2. Whenever a non-token creature you control dies, if it had counters on it, create X tapped 2/1 white and black inkling tokens, where X is the number of counters it had on it. So I feel like she's very interesting. She has mentor. So with a decent sized power for her size, and it's a bigger number, so she can do the trigger. You know, I think she's an interesting commander, actually. I could see a deck being built around her. So I think, like, she's an interesting new commander type, too. So I think I want to give her a 7. She's a well-rounded commander. Next up, we have the Guardian Archon. 4 and 2 white flying. Comes into play, secretly choose somebody. We're going to like Battle Bond or whatever. Reveal, and you and target permanent you control each gain protection from that player until end of turn. Activate only once. It's just kind of interested also in 1v1 because, I mean, you know it's going to be your opponent. So you give yourself and one thing you have out there protection. And it could be this thing. So this is 6 for 5/5 protection from player, right? Yep. It's not as good as the blue Merfolk we got because that always has that protection. This is just once a turn effect, but it's on a much bigger dude. The protection doesn't block it from Wrathen because you're deep into the game. I really feel this is only a 4. It's okay. Could be wrong, but Incarnation Technique. 4 and a black demonstration. Okay. I mill 5 and return a creature card from graveyard to play. Well, there are reanimation spells that cost 5 and get a creature back. There's a guy that costs 6 and gets 2 back. But this is in 5. Like, I could see it being played in the deck that has the 6 reanimation and taking out just a plain old 5 reanimation spell and slot it in, because then you get 2 things in your deck that reanimate 2 spells. And yeah, your opponent gets 1, but if you Bajuka Bog somebody or you're targeting somebody that doesn't have much graveyard or just spell slinging this, it doesn't matter to them. So I feel like that this is a 7. It's probably near the top of the demonstration spells we've gotten, but you know, we'll have to see what the last one does. Next up, Ink Shield. 3 a white and a black. Instant prevent all damage, and for each one prevented this way, make a 2/1 Inkling. This is great. It's standard cost effectiveness, because it might seem like you're paying too much and you'd expect this to be 4, but you're potentially getting quite a few dudes. So I like it. Because heck, if you're even protecting yourself some 4 or 5 damage, you're spending 5 mana for 10 power on the board afterward. So I would say that this is a 7. It's really solid. Keen Duelist. A colorless and a black for a 2/2 human wizard. Beginning of your upkeep, you and target opponent each reveal the top card of your library. You each lose life equal to the MV of the card revealed by the other player. So this is very dependent on what you meet when you take out your decks and play. Because if somebody's playing like a very cantrippy deck that's trying to do Magecraft, this is good. Because if you have like a bunch of big demons and stuff in your deck and you just start flipping over 7s and 8 drops and they're sad because they only have like 3 or 4s, then you know you're ahead. This might be good in like life drain or in a black green deck where you're like, or a black white deck where you're trying to gain little bits of life and spend the life to do stuff. So what they flip doesn't hurt you as bad. This might be good in the white, blue, black aura soldier that is gaining 2 life every upkeep. So I would say that in the right matchups, this is decent. So this is a 6. And I just noticed a thing, guys. Sorry. Okay, fixed it. I'm not talking about blue-green cards. I'm talking about black-white. Okay, next up. Nilas Discipline Enforcer. 2 and a white, legendary human cleric. Beginning of your end step. For each player, put a +1/+1 counter on up to 1 creature they control. If that creature wants to attack you, they have to pay X amount, where X equals the number of counters on that creature. So 1, then 2, then 3. And eventually you can go across all their creatures and give them 1 counter, so they have to pay 1 for each dude. And you would pair this with the white enchantment, make them pay 2. Or the annex. So this is a very good attack you to attack me kind of effect. I like these a lot. This is 7. Takes more to get going. That's why he was not higher. Next up, Promise of Loyalty. 4 and a white. Each player puts a vow counter on a creature. Sack them all that are left that don't have the counters on them. Then the things with the vow counters can't attack you or a walker you control. I like this. It's a little weird wrath that means you have control of the board. They can't attack you. It's pretty good. Next up, we have Scholarship Sponsor. 3 and a white for 3/3 Human Advisor. He enters the battlefield. Each player who controls less lands than the player who controls the most lands searches for a number of basic lands less than or equal to the difference, puts those cards in the battlefield tab. He's weird because he ramps you and all your opponents that aren't in the lead. So I'm going to give this a 4. I'm not sure how good he is. It's just a weird scenario. Next up, Stinging Study. 4 and a black. You draw X cards and lose X life, where X is the mana value of a commander you own on the battlefield or in the command zone. I like this effect because it's an instant, and especially depending on what cost your commander is. This can net you a lot of cards. Obviously, in certain builds, this card would go in it. It's just very dependent on it. So this is like a 6. It's just very, very dependent on what you're building around. And next, oops, Tempting Contract, 4 for an artifact. Beginning of your upkeep, each opponent may create a treasure token. For each opponent who does, you make a treasure token. We've had a green spell similar to this, except that this does not like guarantee you mana. That's the problem. It really doesn't seem to help white. It really doesn't seem to be that beneficial. Just okay. Get the 4. And that's the last card for today. This has been White Black Deck number 4. My name's Dreamer, the Wizard's Arena. Please like, share, and subscribe, and comment below, and I'll see you in Deck 5 video tomorrow. And that will be our last one. That is going to be... What ones has left? We got... Can't remember the colors. It's black-green. I'm sorry, folks. Wow. Took me a long while to get there. And I'll see you then. Have a great one.